I set silverware when my phone buzzed. "You won't be joining the Christmas cruise. Dad wants the family." My mother, Helen, sent it as a weather alert. Final. 3 months earlier, I'd sold my Seattle condo, emptied savings, and closed on a $400,000 house in their names for safety. Now I was an afterthought. "I'm Nora." That message collapsed last fiction I'd been living. The signs were there. They skipped my MBA ceremony because my father, Mark, might need me for a deal, which became a brochure and a P.O. box. When I booked a trip, Mom arrived with medical bills, and my vacation became granite countertops. In winter, a heater emergency ate $3,000, right before their spa weekend. Then came the ovation. Tears, hugs. "You're our hero," the night we signed for the house. Weeks later, I watched a BMW bloom while I learned one-bedroom living. Rain drummed my window as I opened a deed folder. There it was. 2 months before their desperate call, they'd refinanced. $80,000, withdrawn silently. They weren't drowning. They were building a yacht and asking me to row. I made a folder, project ledger, and lined up transfers against vacations, pleas against purchases. On day 3, an unfamiliar number rang. "Nora, this is Thomas Brent from Brent & Cole. Your parents say you agreed to transfer the Elm Street title back. Just a formality." My hand hovered over the keyboard. "I never agreed," I said. "Nothing in this is a formality." I met Thomas in a conference room smelling of polish and paper. He slid a quitclaim deed across the table. "Cleanest way forward," he said. I kept my hands on my lap. "Cleanest for whom?" I asked. I listed dates, transfers, and the refinance I'd found. His eyebrows rose at $80,000. When I refused to sign, he shrugged. "Then they'll handle it in family court." I stood. "Then we'll use adult paperwork, contracts, disclosures, receipts." Outside, I canceled the auto payments I'd been covering, insurance, taxes, lawn service. I opened a new account labeled Boundary Fund and moved my remaining savings there. Then I emailed Thomas and my parents. I would resume payments only after a formal written agreement, either 1, a promissory note secured by a lien for my contributions, or 2, listing the house with my down payment repaid at closing. I added the ledger as an attachment. By evening, my brother Lucas called. "They're furious. Dad says you're ungrateful." I breathed through old panic. "Lucas, did you know about the refinance?" Silence stretched. "I signed as a witness," he said finally. "I thought you knew." My chest pinched, then loosened. At least one secret was daylight now. At midnight, I drafted a statement. From today forward, I would not fund emergencies, vacations, or temporary bridges. I set the email to send at 8 a.m., then booked a consult with a housing clinic. If necessary, I'd become their landlord, formally not the daughter with a wallet. A paralegal named Joy read my ledger and nodded. "You have leverage," she said, circling the refinance line. She drafted a repayment template and a letter demanding disclosure of all liens. I sent both to Thomas with the subject, "Next steps." 3 days later, rain. My parents arrived unannounced. Mark paced, Helen perched, clutching her purse like testimony. "Lawyers? Over family?" my father started. I kept my voice even. "Over contracts. I won't subsidize secrets." I slid the agreement across the table. "Option A, sign this note secured by a lien, repayable monthly. Option B, we list the house in 30 days and settle at closing." He scoffed. My mother didn't. She read every line, whispering through the amortization. Thomas set a meeting. We negotiated like strangers. Lucas joined by video, eyes rimmed with regret. The number we reached wasn't poetic. It was math, down payment, taxes, repairs, minus rent I'd forgiven. The note would be recorded. I would no longer be the emergency. The contract would. When the notary stamped the last page, my mother's shoulders slumped. "We wanted you close," she said. I almost answered with the old script, "It's fine," but chose the new one. "Closeness isn't love if it costs my life," I said. That night, I reopened my travel tab. Not a cruise, a solo train ticket inland to a winter town with hot springs and no plan. I packed light, ledger closed, boundary intact, future prepaid by me, for me, at long last. Spring found me on a platform, a small suitcase, and a ticket with my name spelled correctly. The note accrued interest like a metronome, steady, impartial, freeing. Lucas texted photos of my parents repainting the porch. Repayments followed calendar weeks, not weather. I rented a studio with oak floors and a window that applauded rain. I learned to cook for one, then invited people who'd earned seconds. When fear knocked, I opened the ledger and remembered math. When love knocked, I opened the door and remembered choice. Boundaries didn't shrink family, they rescued me and left the restroom to grow.